for the topic today, we had talked about doing everything is Kodak.
Oh yeah.
Were you interested in that one?
Yeah. Also, this might work because I picked up this the Double Film Treat, which is their Cinestill alternative,
Ooh,
their 400D alternative,
ooh,
with great packaging, I might add.
yeah. Oh my God, hold that up one more time. Let me see.
Let me see.
Is that new?
Yeah, I think they
Oh,
just
there's
it's there we go. So
beautiful.
it's got a few things I like
Ooh,
about it versus Cinestill alternatives. Is number one, it's got 36 exposures. It's got and it's slightly cheaper than Cinestill. That's the
nice.
yeah, because it's always like it's like a Cinestill alternative. It's better than Cinestill, but it's like $18 for 27 shots. That's US, of course, but yeah.
Yeah, and like, $18 US is like 23 or 24 Canadian.
Yeah, it's
So
like it's
Cinestill is
not
like $32 for
yeah,
us.
wow. Wow. Yeah,
It's
like
kind of
it's
messed up.
yeah, because the alternatives and Cinestill all like cost the same, and if I get eight more shots of Cinestill, I want that.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah,
Totally agree.
but
Yeah, so I mean, speaking of everything being Kodak,
The show is about nothing.
Blank frame.
I was doing a crazy giant photo shoot on Sunday,
yeah.
and it had like 30 people, and we were there for like 8 hours, and I did another 3 hour shoot before that. And just the collection of all of that shooting throughout the day, as well as hauling heavy photography gear around,
Oh yeah.
completely wiped out my shoulder.
Oh no.
So now, yeah, I can like barely stand up without it hurting. It kind of sucks,
Yeah.
but it's way better today than it was yesterday. So
Good.
hopefully I'll be
Good.
better soon.
Is there like a
Yeah.
brace or anything you can wear for it or?
No, I have a physio appointment, like an emergency physio appointment tomorrow, and then I'm just gonna keep it iced and like alternating ice pack and heating pad. It's like
Good.
the hazards of being a photographer, hey,
Oh yeah.
things
Yeah,
you don't really
my
think about.
oh yeah. Yeah, my wrist just occasionally like though I can't pick up things and it's like the computer people, all the people who talk about darkroom work, and we've mentioned this before, being dangerous. Like, well, you should see how bad my wrists and knees hurt sometimes because of all the computer work I've done.
Yeah, I get editor's wrist, which is like
Yeah.
this tendon right here while I'm clicking
Oh
is
yeah.
like just starts to hurt, dude.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, no, this job is more hazardous than people think. I
Oh
want to
yeah.
say.
Yeah. It's like it's not like they're both not without their hazards. I'm gonna open this because I haven't opened it yet. I just got it in.
Oh,
Okay, so packaging
huge
review. The box
canister.
is excellent. I
Uh,
fully agree with
10 out of
have
10.
have fun. I like their packaging. It's kind of like lomography, honestly.
All the
And
double film packaging is so good.
yeah, I've only seen their bare canisters. Oh, it even says it on the film.
Oh my God.
I like it. Okay. Oh, it's a
Beautiful.
plastic canister. Oh, it's got DX codes though, so that's cool.
Nice. And is
Okay.
that a sticker that you can peel off? I always love
Oh,
peeling the
it
stickers off
is.
my
Yeah.
canisters and saving them.
Yeah, you can peel that off. Hmm.
Oh, put it in your
Oh, this is
scrapbook.
fun. Yep. I'm excited. My screen, you can't see it here, but you know the little rainbow tab on the bottom of Polaroid container, can't like cartridges, the little thing you pull it out of the camera with.
Oh
I
yeah,
I pull that off and I've
keep
lined the
those.
entire bottom of this monitor with them. I'll send you a picture later.
That's so cool. Oh my God,
Yeah.
yeah. Do send me
It's
a picture later.
oh yeah, it's just so the bottom of my monitor is just this rainbow with a couple of like black and white ones stuck in.
Oh my God, I gotta get myself a Polaroid. I've got my eyes on the I2 right
Oh
now.
yeah. Yeah.
Oh, I want it so bad, Jamie.
Oh
I
yeah.
want it so bad.
I really want that $600 one. It looks like it's actually pretty decent. And people talk about like the exposure being kind of all over the place with it, but if you've ever had to shoot Instax manually, it's just
Yeah, it's
it's
like
all over
gonna
the place.
happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, no, that one's $800 Canadian, which is why I'm
oh
just like,
yeah. Oof. Yeah.
ooh, I gotta really want that before I'm gonna
Yeah.
start. But I
That
don't know, maybe I'll hit them up and see if they want to send me a demo one.
that would be cool. Yeah, I think the I2 they've really got their consumer level worked out pretty well.
And the
But
hot shoe.
yeah.
Anyway, so
Oh yeah.
everything is Kodak. I mean, obviously, Polaroid and Instax aren't, but a
Some of the
lot of
few.
other products that people might think aren't are.
Oh yeah.
So
that,
the other day I was shopping at Photo, and I was looking and I realized that they sold three different kinds of Aerocolor. So
mm,
they had the not Silbira color. What's the other one? It's got like crazy
um,
packaging. It looks like a jungle. It's got like a little sun thing on it.
oh, I don't, Pofo?
I'll send you a
Yeah.
picture of it.
Sorry.
I'll send you a picture of it. A
Yeah.
Santa color is a classic. Uh,
Oh, yeah.
Reflex Labs 100.
Yeah.
But then
Uh,
in addition to those, what they've got
There's,
Silbira color,
oh, yeah. And also, Cat Labs, I think, is selling
Cat
it.
Labs, Washi
Yeah.
X
Yeah.
is Aerocolor.
Yeah.
Um, there's a Kickstarter now to actually sell Aerocolor as Aerocolor, which is
Oh,
kind of
wow.
fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That'll be interesting because it's like a Kodak legal thing. Like, I don't know if Alara said you can't sell any name under any film under the Kodak name or whatever, but there's some like the reason that they can't say what their film is if they buy it from Kodak is because Kodak doesn't want them to.
So we
Yeah.
have to do a little bit of sleuthing a lot of the time to figure out what a film stock actually is.
Yeah.
And what do you think that like what would that sleuthing involve for you?
That would be tough because it is like I think they treat it like trade secrets maybe. Or something like that. It's like that's why Cinestill can't exactly say certain things about their films, like 400D. If you think about it, they say they can't say it, but they say 500T is or 800T is 500. So if you look at it and do the math, so to speak, 400D they say it's based on a cinema film. It's like so if they special order it from Kodak without the rimjet if you go look at it from Eastman's perspective, that's no longer 250D. It's 250D with a missing part. So if you say Cinestill 400D is 250D, it's not because it doesn't have rimjet. And so if you say it's 250D, then Kodak feels like people will put it through tests as, oh, this is trash. It doesn't have rimjet.
Mm,
Just
that's
crazy
interesting.
corporate secrecy stuff. Yeah.
I've heard that some of the Lomo films are also Kodak stocks, but I can't decide which ones.
Yeah. I
Do you have
think
speculation?
I know they used to. Okay, so multiple rumors have been online about like they used to sell T-Max as their black and white films. That's clearly FOMA now, as far as anyone can tell. And then there have been like ex-employees said, "Oh yeah, Lomo color is just gold." And I mean,
No.
yeah, if you think about it and look at it, it that's almost all it could be is like Kodak makes or Eastman makes, Aero color and the cinema films and custom films and stuff like that. It feels like you could go and buy a master roll of whatever they put in the disposable cameras once every 2 or 3 years, cut it up into like, 20,000 different rolls of film, um, and sell it until it goes bad and you have to discount it, kind of like Lomography's doing right now with their medium format stuff. um, and then go out and maybe buy another one or discontinue that film and find another one in like color 92 maybe, um, and sell it like that because Lomography is always kind of limited editioning their films. Like the purple stuff is different every few years, and Metropolis and Turquoise is and it's because those experimental ones like they can't make consistently enough to be the same all the time, since we saw with like Ilford or Harman
Mhm.
how the consistency is difficult from small batch to small batch, and you have to do larger batches for extreme consistency.
That makes sense. I had a really weird experience with a lomography film recently. I actually like made a post on Reddit about it
Oh
because it
yeah,
was such a strange one.
huh?
Yeah, so it was Lomo Potsdam,
Oh
which
yeah.
is based on a cinema film.
Mm-hmm.
And so the speculation, I'll tell you the speculation before I go
Okay.
into what happened, but is that they had a remjet layer and some process of removing the remjet layer kind of messed with the emulsion because the
Mm.
results I got were bizarre. It was like these swirly, twirly, like it looked like,
Ooh.
oil on water, like
Yeah.
gasoline on water, and
Huh.
it gets that rainbow swirly twirly.
Yeah.
it was like that, but all
That's
over and like just crap all over the entire thing.
wow. Yeah, I don't know how rimjet in black and white works because Double X doesn't have it, but their color films do. So I don't know if the color films are more sensitive
I
to
have no
static
idea.
discharge or whatever. Or but I don't even think the Ektachrome has it, which makes me even more confused because
Yeah,
the
I have
yeah,
no idea actually. But I just
yeah,
what people on Reddit said was like, yeah, it was some process related to that because that extra layer like had come off but hadn't come off entirely,
yeah,
or that it was like the emulsion separating. I don't know.
that's really weird. And I think
Really
that
weird.
stuff is pretty widely thought to be Orwo, some kind of Orwo film.
I think it is, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, well, the first roll of Potsdam that I shot was like absolutely gorgeous. It came out with
yeah,
these beautiful, like very low contrast, like very fine grain, like just
oh
a really
yeah,
nice like portrait black and white film.
yeah,
But then yeah, the second roll I shot, which was years later, like maybe 3 years later,
yeah,
had all these swirly twirly, and you know they looked cool. Like the kind of shots that I was doing were all like very moody, dreary, like blurry kind of things, and then having that like extra layer of smudges and
oh yeah,
spores and dirt and dust all over the top looked really neat.
oh yeah,
But just a warning, if
yeah.
people aren't looking for that,
I will
it's
have to,
possible.
yeah, I'll have to look out for that too, and maybe try to get it too because I'm interested.
Yeah,
Oh,
do try it out.
definitely. Another thing that people I don't think realize is that there's like layers that don't survive processing on a lot of films. Like if when you develop your own film, a lot of times you can do a pre-soak, and the pre-soak you pour out is sometimes colored. So Fuji has like purple, and what that is an anti-halation, anti-static layer, I think. Well, not jet black. DIY Cinestill is like this treat is going to be different than 400D because if they manufacture, I noticed the color on when I wash off the Cinestill 400D when versus when I do 800 or 50, they don't have color when you pour out the pre-soak, but 400D does. So you could guess that they might intentionally not have included an anti-halation layer, but they may have included an anti-static layer to reduce damage to the film.
What kind of damage happens to a film by static? I'm curious.
It looks like a little sometimes it looks like a lightning spark or like a spider webbing type thing. Uh
What?
it used to happen a lot more in their older film.
I'm gonna look that up. Oh my God. That sounds so cool. Oh my God, that is extremely cool. This reminds me a lot of the Revlog Tesla,
Yeah,
which is like I think kind of fakes it by pre-exposing like a lightning bolt
yeah,
pattern onto all of their film.
yeah,
But that's a really fun one. That's like one
yeah.
of my favorite pre-exposed films I've ever shot.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I love that. I've wanted to try that static thing since I heard about that.
Oh my God, yeah, this looks sick. Oh my
Yeah.
God, all of these look sick.
Oh yeah.
Wow, that's a cool
Oh yeah.
that's a cool technique.
Definitely. Since we touched on Harman last week being one of the few non-Kodak color manufacturers entering the fray, there has been a whimper or whisper of Lucky Film coming back
I
through
saw
Reflex.
that.
Yeah.
I'm kind of excited about that.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I'm again because they're one of the sinister alternative people, I'm a little wary of them, especially since they kind of act very mom and popish, but they sure seem to have like really close ties to Shanghai and stuff like that. But
Hmm.
I think I mentioned it. It's like if there are Chinese companies moving in trying to get the money, that probably means there's money to get, which is very positive for film.
Yeah, we're regaining our market share. Our purchasing power is actually
Yeah.
having powerful effects.
Oh yeah. And Kodak is lowering the price on their Tri-X films because it was just so high. I think they realized that people can't or won't buy Tri-X at like a premium. So that's the market telling them to adjust their prices, and they did. So if people start buying Lucky and Harman color films and stuff like that, then they're like, man, we can't charge $18 for Portra 800 anymore. We're just going to have to sell more. I don't know. Like it helps them not gouge us when they think that they're the only game in town.
Yeah. And I super appreciate that. Like, oh my God, seeing
Uh,
some of those Portra stocks come down in price is going to
oh
be
yeah.
like, I've only ever shot Portra 400 one time, and it
Oh.
was by accident. I've never like intentionally bought a roll of Portra 400 to shoot because it's literally like $32 Canadian per
Oh
roll,
wow. Oh geez.
which like
Yeah.
I can't afford
No.
that.
No.
Like,
The
there's no
thing
way.
is, everyone seems to have the best luck with Portra 400. Like everything turns out, but it only ever looks good for me if I'm shooting outside at golden hour.
Yeah, yeah,
It just looks like trash any other time. But
yeah. In
Portra,
studio, it's fine. Like it's
yeah,
not
Portra
revolutionary.
160 is the underrated one. It's a very nice. It's more muted, or it's as muted as Portra tends to be, but it's the tonality is nice and smoother, and there's not so many funky color shifts in the shadows. And
I was a
Portra,
big fan of 800 too.
yeah, 800 is great because it has the old VC color palette. Like it looks like those films.
So tell us a little bit about Lucky. Sorry, while we're on the
Oh yeah.
topic.
So Lucky, this used to come up.
One moment. I'm reading the most fascinating article on the most fascinating people of the year. And done.
2003, Eastman Kodak and China Lucky Film signed a 20-year cooperation agreement.
Wait, so are you telling me everything is Kodak?
Yeah, it
Oh my
continues.
God.
But in 2007, Kodak retracted from the deal. And this is Wikipedia, of course. So, but it's links to International Business Times. That's what I had read that in like maybe New York Times. Like they inked this 20-year agreement. I'm like, where's Lucky? Why isn't Lucky doing anything? It's because in 2007, I guess, amid all the bankruptcy stuff, they just retracted from all of that. But at some point, they had some kind of manufacturing plant in China. But if it was Lucky's, I feel like China doesn't have the same practice American companies do of like scrapping their old factories, judging by all the really amazing things, molds and stuff people seem to dig up from China, like for old point and shoots and other electronics.
I'm not familiar with Cat Labs. I know that they did a lot of the same film reproduction, not reproduction, rebranding, repackaging as Reflex Labs. What else does
Yeah.
Cat Labs do? Is it all Kodak, or do they have some interesting stuff?
Cat Labs, I'm not 100% sure what their black and white films have been. At one point, I think they had a double X they repackaged. I think they had a Shanghai film. I think the current theory on their black and white 320 or whatever it is that it's maybe an Ilford aerial film.
No, interesting.
Yeah. So it's nice in 510 pyro, and the 100 color pretty much has to be aero color.
Air color. Yeah, I think it definitely is. And it
Yeah.
looks like they also sell Amber and Reflex Labs, and both of those companies are like they will buy up Kodak stocks and repackage them and rebrand them and have all the
Yeah.
same kind of products.
Yeah.
I've tried the Amber D400
Mm,
and it is gorgeous. It's
nice.
thinnest old 400D. So
The amber stuff, I was curious about it, but it still costs about the same here as Cinestill does. So I'm like, I'd rather get the stuff that I know is made with an anti-static layer, and it's finished almost certainly by Harman, by the looks of the packaging. Um, just stuff like that. So this is clearly not finished by any of those people. I don't know much about Double at all,
I feel
but
like Double's German, right?
okay.
So
Yeah.
I thought it was. I thought they were like in the same realm as Kono,
Oh,
but I could
okay.
be wrong.
Yeah,
I
I
know that
am.
Amber and Reflex are both from China.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
There's
let me look up
no,
Double Film.
yeah, there's nothing on here. Like no origin whatsoever.
That is kind of suspicious and makes me
Yeah.
feel like maybe it's not from Germany. Because I feel like all the products I've gotten from Germany, they will have a company name on them that ends in GMHB. And
Oh,
that's how you
yeah.
know that it's a German company.
Yeah.
Because that's like their equivalent of limited.
Yeah.
Uh, well, I want to try more of the double film things because
Yeah.
I've tried a bunch of the Revlog options, which feel really similar to
Yeah.
double film, and then Kono feels really similar too. So I think they're all
Yeah. I have friends
the
who
same.
love them, and I just never actually get them. But there's like a whole ecosystem of Kodak rebrandings, and then a little bit of Orwo, and a little bit of Ilford rebranding or Harman rebranding. Like there's some thoughts that Kent Muir was like I mentioned last time, it was the Ultrafine Extreme. although I have no clue what the new ultrafine black and white film is supposed to be, or what the new Arista Pan 100 is.
I'm looking at Double Film and it looks like they're in Barcelona,
Oh,
um,
interesting.
which is pretty cool. Yeah.
Yeah, I
I
like.
wanna oh, I wanna
Yeah,
buy some of their films right now. I'm like getting
yeah,
tempted.
yeah. I saw that on Freestyle when I was making an order. I'm like, because I was debating, like, I need to get some Cinestill in that place, but I'm like, but that's so expensive right now. And I understand why they're expensive, as we mentioned. If you want to go listen to our last episode and listen and give us some more playing time. um, but it would be nice if one of these alternatives were really a cost-effective alternative. So if I shoot this and it looks pretty clean, uh, this would be a good thing to have because
Yeah, I feel like $15 is like my happy point for
yeah,
film. That's like when I'm like, okay, it's going to be a good film stock, but also I can afford that. There's so many different, like, very unique film stocks that are, I think, like, most of the really fun ones are just Kodak stocks that people have done crazy things to,
yeah,
like exposing or color tinting or pre-souping.
yeah.
Um, so it's nice to see that there's so much like creativity built off of this one kind of monopoly.
Oh yeah.
Unfortunately, it is all still feeding the monopoly, but
Yeah. I guess if Fuji really does get back into the consumer game on any level, that'll give another option for these people to modify. And then if Harman gets to where they can make a consumer film and a pro film, that's another one. So,
that'd be
yeah,
great. That
yeah.
would be really great.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Well, Fuji, I'm looking forward to. Unfortunately, for those of you who don't know out there in the audience, if you buy a roll of Fuji film and pretty much any Fuji product right now in North America, you're actually just buying Kodak. I
Hmm.
know Fuji Color 200 is all just Kodak Gold. I think that's the only Fuji product on the market right now other than the Instax films, right?
Supposedly, you can buy the slide film occasionally, like the Provia, but and then
Yeah, I don't know if I trust that.
no, no. And then the Acros, of course, but that's just a Harman produced film, although it's a very unique. I mean, it's definitely a Fuji recipe or whatever you would call.
Yeah, I'm actually kind of over black and white films right now. I shot
Oh,
like 4 or 5 rolls of black and white films over the winter, and I'm like, okay, spring flowers.
yeah.
We're getting some color back. Like I'm moving away from black and white. I'm back in the color game.
Oh, yeah.
I'm
When it
out of
gets
all my color films, so
oh yeah. Yeah, when it gets eye melting bright in Texas and I'm sick of summer, I like to break out the black and white then and just like really because you can just do I shot some Ferrania. I tried to torture test some Ferrania P30 last year and I went in direct sunlight. It's so bright I didn't even need a flash at all. And I shot it and developed it in 510 pyro and it has the best tonal range. I'm like, I was trying to get like almost litho print here, like black and white,
cool.
but it actually was just completely beautiful. So I that's another thing I need to try when I get some extreme light. But yeah, I like color and I gravitate toward it, even though I do have little fits where I like red filter, black and white, and get some really interesting looking stuff.
I speaking of just super bright sunlight, I've got a bunch of these really slow films cooking in my fridge right now.
Ooh,
I've got the Donau, Kono Donau, which is it's either 3 or 8 ISO.
oh yeah,
So you pretty much need to tripod it.
yeah.
But it's an old, okay, I might be incorrect here, but it's an old fingerprinting film
Oh,
used for
that's
taking
fun.
fingerprints.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so it's like a reappropriation of this like technical film
Yeah.
stock. And it comes out in these beautiful like purple blue tones.
Ooh.
Like everything is like monochromatic, but monochromatic purple.
Oh wow.
Which is gonna be sick. And then there's
Yeah.
another one by Film Photography Project or
Oh
Film
yeah.
Photo Project or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's a 3 ISO and it's called Ultra Slow.
Oh yeah.
And that one's also like extremely cool, like just super
Oh yeah.
impactful.
And
Plus like 3 ISO, I've never shot with anything like that.
did you see Adox is coming out with like a 3 ISO film too?
Ooh, no, I didn't. Hang on,
Uh
I'm gonna check it out.
I haven't gotten to look too much into it. It's like a color mission I think it's 3 ISO.
Oh, it's a color film.
Yeah. This new or Helios. Interesting. They chose Helios.
Dang, that looks cool.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm really intrigued. I mean, the color looks nice, and if you're in a bright place, you would be surprised at how shootable really low ISO films can be.
I believe it.
If you have those fast lenses like people use for portraits, like 1.8s and 1.2s and stuff like that, it's even easier to deal with.
Yeah, I believe it. Yeah, I have a 1.8. I think 1.8 is the lowest one I've got, but I think shooting like LA in March
Oh yeah.
on a low ISO would be pretty possible. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's kind of
I
my
oh
intention.
oh that'll be fun. Yeah, I took right literally as things were about to shut down. I was worried I wasn't going to get home before COVID. I was in Florida taking photos, and I actually took some like really ultra low ISO black and white film, like some old Soviet film, to a beach there and got some pretty cool photos.
Oh,
So yeah, that was fun.
oh, yeah, on a beach I think would be a perfect spot.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm, or I want to like at some point go out to Joshua Tree Park.
Oh, oh
And I
yeah.
think just like the silhouettes and everything there would be
That
like the
would be
silhouettes, the
awesome.
landscape and the skyline would be
Oh yeah,
pretty
I love
cool.
that
Yeah.
area. I've been a couple times. I have a friend, my friend Penelope, who runs Dodge and Burn Darkroom out there.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah,
Well, if I manage to make it out, I'll definitely check her out.
definitely.
I tried going last time I was in LA, but it I looked it up at like midnight and it was like,
Oh
yeah,
no.
it'll take you 2.5 hours. I was like, sick. And then I looked it up at like 11 a.m. when I
Oh
was getting ready to
no.
leave, and it was
Oh
like, yeah,
no.
it'll take 5 hours. And I'm
Oh
like,
no.
oh,
Yeah, that traffic.
oh no.
LA traffic's
Yeah.
oh man.
It was bad. Like, 'cause we
Yeah.
were 4 hours into the drive and it was like sunset. We're like, okay, well,
Hmm.
never mind.
Yeah. Oh man. Yeah,
That sucked.
yeah. And then the other thing I encountered is the first time I was out there, I wanted to go to the Salton Sea so bad. And we picked a day out. We're about to go look at the forecast, and it was 120 degrees. Yeah. And we're like,
Okay, well, the
Salton
film just
Sea.
melts in your camera as you're
Yeah.
going.
Salton Sea, because of its famous environmental issues, smells like dead fish already. You can
Oh,
imagine.
dead
um,
fish in an oven.
yeah,
Ooh.
exactly. Uh, yeah, I wanted to, but I'm like, okay, no one I would take pictures of here would survive. And yeah, so maybe I'll go not in summer.
Yeah, good call.
Yeah,
Good call. I feel like that kind of place will be bright enough for a low ISO film, even in the winter,
yeah, yeah,
if there is
definitely.
like a winter. Yeah.
That's a good question. Like a cold breeze, and like, oh, get your coats out.
Yeah. No, no, I have friends from LA and when they come up, it's like, well, wait, I don't know Fahrenheit, but in Celsius, it'll be like 20 degrees outside, which is for a Canadian quite nice,
Yeah,
quite a good
yeah.
temperature. And they'll be like goosebumps and like freezing and like standing in the direct sun. It's like
Oh
Jesus.
yeah,
I guess it only gets down to like 20 in LA in winter there though. So that's like
yeah,
their coldest winter
yeah,
temperature.
yeah.
Oh,
They
that must
get
be hard.
yeah. It's really pleasant most of the time. Occasionally they get a little hot. The only thing I'll cut them slack on is when it rains. It usually is rare, and the reason everyone gets into an accident is because there's oil all just caked on the roads that goes nowhere until it rains, and then it becomes a slippery mess. So I will give them a pass on
Ooh.
that. But the temperatures, I'm from Texas. Uh, it's
Yeah.
brutal. Go
Yeah,
to
we're
the
kind of like
desert.
opposite extremes, hey?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it gets pretty
Yeah.
cold here.
Yeah. Like west. You're far west Canada. Is that it?
No, yeah, far west Canada, which
Yeah.
actually like probably some of the nicest temperatures in Canada
Yeah.
are in BC.
Oh, okay.
Uh, but like Winnipeg, which is where we visit every winter, we'll get down to like -50,
Oof.
which
Yeah.
is pretty close, I think, to Fahrenheit. Like -40
Yeah.
is the same in Fahrenheit and
Yeah.
Celsius. So
They start meeting in that area.
pretty cold. Yeah,
Yeah.
pretty cold.
I lived in Minnesota for most of a year, or as I heard, like South Canada. And the closest I got to just right at the temperature where if it was like about a few degrees colder, you could throw boiling water in the air and it comes down as ice.
Ooh,
Yeah.
yeah, there's like a thing that kids do where they'll do that. It goes and it's
Yeah.
gone.
It's that's when I would get out of the car and then to the house I was living at, walk to the garage. I'm like, I survived. I made it. Yeah.
Yeah, no, if my eyes don't freeze shut, I'm happy.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I've had
Uh,
it get too cold to my camera. That's for
oh
sure.
yeah, yeah. I shot a digital Hasselblad a few years back, and the battery actually hung externally on it. And I was shooting outside one time, and I kept having to put the battery, switching it out with one that I had in a pocket because it would
Weird.
get too cold and it would die.
Weird. That
Yeah,
sounds annoying. Yeah, I
yeah.
think for me it was the shutter that just like froze. And
Oh
eventually the
wow.
camera was like, I could focus and it would do
Yeah.
everything, but then when I took the picture, go click.
Oh yeah, the shutter physically freezes. Yeah. The
Yeah, yeah,
Mia
yeah.
7 actually has a battery cord, a battery adapter that will put the battery in your pocket so you can shoot in cold weather.
Mm,
Yeah,
that's
so
not too bad. That makes sense. I like
yeah.
that. Just keep it close to your heart.
Oh yeah. So I
Uh,
guess you might be running out of time.
yes, I'm literally going to run to the lab right after this,
Okay.
get some exercise in as well.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
yeah, I'm going to do that, drop off my film soup, and I'll have some reports to make next time we have a podcast. Maybe we can
Cool.
talk about film soup next time.
Oh yeah. Ooh, that'll be a good topic. Film soup over
I think
soup.
so.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah. Hey.
Well, you can feel free to contact us on the internet on our profiles. I'll replay the segment from the last one to save time for our social stuff. And then I guess we'll talk very soon, maybe weekly, semi-weekly, and see how that goes. And
Yeah,
thanks for everyone who listened to the
that sounds
last
great.
one. And thanks for talking again. And we'll start having more formal podcast, I guess, once we hit about 3 or 4, so we can post on iTunes.
Perfect. Cool.
Cool.
Well, yeah, thank you guys. Thank you everyone for watching. Go and check both of us out on YouTube if you want to see some more of our film photography ramblings. Both of us, I think, have a fairly substantial catalog on there
Oh yeah.
of film photography related content. So yeah, go check that out. And thank you so much, Jamie, for having me on. This has been
And
awesome.
thank you. This is a lot of fun. And I look forward to next time. I hope everything goes well, especially with your shoulder.
Yeah, I hope so too. Yeah,
Oh,
I guess I'm running. It might not be the best choice, but
oh,
we'll see.
oh, bye.
Yeah.
You can find me at Jamie M Photo. That's Jamie M Photo. I'll actually have it if we have show notes or whatever. It'll be in there. It's a lot easier. Or Piney Woods Darkroom is my darkroom.
And I am Y Hanson Photography. That's Y as in like the letter Y. HANSON_photography. You can find me on many social media platforms under that handle. For it. Oh, let's do a pause for thumbnail.
Oh yeah.
So that we can have the thumbnail ready. Like, give me like a.
Everyone always does this. For
Okay.
everyone always does that in
One of
their
those
their
that'll work.
thumbnails. So, like it seems like there's a like they would give them the big eyes or something like that. And yeah,
Yeah, like I noticed that people make their eyes ever so slightly bigger. I'm
this
like,
is a
this
thumbnail.
normal?
This is a thumbnail with that.